Time. CCI International 2019 round 1 match. Mazen Gamal of Egypt to serve. Vikram Malhotra of India to receive. Best of 5 games. Love all.
International sponsored by JSW. This has been quite. We have in action today Vikram Malhotra and Mazen Gamal from Egypt in what's sure to be a clash of distinct styles. Vikram, obviously, we've seen grown up here in India, quite the flashy player, loves to take the ball in short early. You can expect Mazen to try to extend the rallies a little bit longer, not try to play too many front court battles.
Up. 2-1. Right side.
As you can see, the play's been just a bit scrappy here to start out with. We had a marathon 5-set match just before this, and the players had to probably warm up and cool down a few times, not being sure when they'd be able to step on court.
Stroke to Gamal. Stroke to Gamal. And out. 2-3.
And this is just as expected. You can see both players coming out of the gates,
4-2.
flying. Obviously, Vikram's going for his shots already, trying to pick up an early
4-2.
lead in this game. What's your take on this, Ness?
Hand out. 3-4.
I think that's been the first rally that's really crossed 10 shots this game. As both players look to settle down.
No left
No let.
is sufficient room to play the shot.
Hand out. 5-3.
It seems Mazen had really gone through there and tried to play the ball, but realized it was a bit too tight and tried to pick up that cheap left. Roughly correctly gave that no that.
Hand out. 4-5.
No left. No left. The ball was past you. You're going to the player. There's a line behind of you. There's a line behind of you.
No let. 5-all.
Just going short there one time too many. Getting the treatment for it. And you can clearly see why this was billed as a top game of the evening. It's really going to be a game of cat and mouse. If this goes on for 5 games, we're in for a real treat.
Hand out. 7-6.
It's been what, 5 minutes, Ness, and
Hello.
we're already at
7
7 all. This speaks to how short the rallies have been. Both players really just going for it right out the gate.
Just like Mr. Gamal, he was cleared by the time of the play.
Yes let. 7-all.
Stroke to Gamal.
Stroke to Gamal. Hand out. 8-7.
Down.
Let's go, Ram.
9-7. Down. Hand out. 8-9.
And just a few too many rallies in this first game have been punctuated by early errors by either player.
Down.
And yet again,
Hand out. 10-8. Game ball.
feel neither player has really been able to get into the rhythm and play out a few rallies, really test each other. And clearly, both of them are going to be coming out fresh for the second game.
10, game ball.
Ball was good.
Ball was good. 11-9, game to Gamal. Gamal leads 1 game to love.
Just like that, Mazen picks up a very scrappy and quick first game. You can expect both players to come out in the second and really try to test each other to play out some rallies.
Love all.
And I'm joined by Nes Moria, squash player at CCI for the second year.
Good evening, Pranay. Good evening, everyone. And a special shout out to the CCI squashers who've grown up here at this club, watching top level squash for the last few years. And in college in the US right now. But Pranay, this game's so different from the other ones so far that we've seen this evening. Just full of unforced errors, full of shot makers.
Clearly, both players try to come out and win that first game quickly, but I'm sure both realize that it's going to take a lot more time and work to wear each other out and really win this game. Really crafty there from Mazen. You can really see why both players are built so highly. Just their shot making in the front is world class.
Down. Hand out. 2-1.
the longest rally so far. But another one ending in an unforced error. This time of Mazen's racket.
Really, that was quite a great rally though. I really enjoyed it. Real cat and mouse cross there. Both players working each other to all four corners of the court.
No let.
No let.
Vikram looking for a let there,
And out.
but not being given it by the referee. You can see over the last couple of matches that the refs are trying to show the players that they should be going to the ball, not to the man. That's a clear.
No, I think definitely something to learn for all the junior players out there. There's really some merit to just going in there, playing the ball, playing a clean game. And that's just brilliant from the front from Vikram.
And out.
Shows him the drop, holds, and then flicks it back. to
And one of the few winners in this game so far. So Pranay, the conditions this year are very different to last year's PSA at the CCI.
Oh, definitely. I can remember how humid
Down.
and hot it was last year.
And out.
You know, both there were frequent breaks for, you know, just to clean the sweat off the court. Ball would just fly across. This year instead, it's quite a chilly evening in January today. And,
By Bombay standards at least.
you can really see the ball just die, just like that.
4-3.
I think it's on courts like this when good length and good shot really gets rewarded.
Exactly. It's a relatively tame crowd, huh, Pranay, today?
Yeah,
Not
it's
too-
shocker because we
And out.
have 3 Indian matches lined up on the show card for today,
And especially this game, given the kind of quality of shots that can be played. Well, both of them, of course, ending up making a lot of errors. But some of the shots are just spectacular, and a lot more shots already made. A lot good shots.
Stroke to Malhotra.
Stroke to Malhotra.
You are failed to clear.
5-4.
I think the one thing that we really haven't appreciated enough is just the speed of both players. You can really see the agility when you're playing at such a high pace, and both players are just so strong and working each other around. You can really see how much effort and
6-4.
speed it takes to pick up that ball.
Right side.
That is what the PSA is all about, Pranay.
And out. 5-6.
No let. The ball was the winning shot. You should know that.
No let. 6 all.
No let. No let.
Wow, this is really a clear pattern coming from the refs. Another no let.
And out. 7-6.
think Vikram there just falling prey to a little too much creativity.
And out. 7 all.
Pranay and I commentating here and appreciating all the comments coming in from different parts of India and around the world.
Jump back into the rally, and then he earns that error from Mazen's racket.
And out. 8-7.
So Pranay, you went to Trinity College as well and played squash, or tried to play squash there for a long time. You were a freshman, I believe, when Vikram was a senior.
8 all.
Yeah, that's quite right. He was actually the captain when I was recruited to Trinity College. Obviously a #1 player there. And top 4 in the country, always.
It must have been great to have someone at his level from Bombay all the way in Connecticut.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely good to get acclimatized. Always felt like home. And Trinity's had a reputation for having a lot of Indian squash players, so they were never was never short of that.
Stroke to Malhotra. He swing was not cleared by the time he was played.
Stroke to Malhotra. And out. 8 all.
9-8.
Correction. 9-8.
Yes, left.
Yes, left.
And I think it's coming down to the wire again in the second game. And
Vikram not happy with that one, with the call.
And as similarly, you've also had some experience playing college squash. I believe you are at St. Lawrence, another very highly ranked team.
That's right. My fondest memory of St. Lawrence is actually, and coincidentally, beating Trinity my senior year. That was a lovely time.
Was that probably the only time it happened?
That was in fact the first time that it happened.
And out. 9 all.
I remember Vikram was actually coaching my opponent for that match, Mudit Pant.
Yes, left.
Yes, left. 9 all.
You can see the length of each rally is really increased as this game has gone on. Less unforced errors as the game's gone on as well. The crowd's really getting into it now. Enjoying these long rallies.
And out. 10-9. Game ball.
So certainly, I think both players realize how crucial this game is. Vikram obviously wouldn't want to be down to love. Mazen would love to extend his lead at this point. So everything to fight for here at the CCI.
Yes, left. The swing was effective. Yes, left. The swing was effective. The swing was not prevented.
What happened exactly there, Pranay? I think Mazen was asking for a let because his swing was restricted. and he's not happy.
Yes, let's.
I think he wanted a stroke, perhaps.
Game ball.
He was able to free his arms the way he would like to. But yes, let's as a referee.
And what do you have to say about the quality of refereeing so far?
11-9. Game to Malhotra.
We'll continue that in game 3.
Game all.
1-1. Vikram coming back in the second with a very strong comeback.
The other courts, local lad Ramit Tandon coming through in 3 games against Josh Masters to extend the home hopes in this tournament.
And out. 1 love.
Obviously, Vikram will be looking to join Ramit and Saurav in the second round tomorrow. How do you think of his chances, Das?
I think it's really good. The crowd's getting back at him. The crowd's backing him. Sorry, I was distracted by Ramit Tandon trying to distract us. Being a professional squash player, but definitely should know the.
I can see why his starting good looks could be distracting.
I guess that's a personal preference, Pranay. You can keep that to yourself next time. Oh, the crowd's really getting behind Vikram now.
Hand out. 1-2.
I'm really looking forward to some quality shot making this game.
Gentlemen, quick.
So, this is probably the one game or the one match tonight that's could be the most exciting.
It's not often early on in tournaments that you get such matchups. Two top
1-2.
players. Both players like to play really fast. They like to take the ball in short early.
And frankly, make it very entertaining to watch. Just like that.
2 all.
A lot of balls catching the nicks
3-2.
at the back corners of this court, Pranay.
Yeah, exactly. And with the weather the way it is, being the chilliest Bombay can ever be, good width and good length are really going to be rewarded. Even putting that ball in short, bouncing on the front wall, floor, and then just sticking to the side wall.
Right.
4-2.
So the second game a lot longer than the first game.
Yeah, I think it was a solid 13 minutes of squash. You can only imagine the games are going to get longer from here. The one difference between the last game and this one is you can see just how frequently players are taking the ball in the cross court or putting the post in. Let's go, Rob!
5-2.
So Pranay just being reprimanded by one of the senior members of the CCI.
Love just the kind of speed and shot making that Vikram's capable of from the front. Vikram's gone on to take a rapid lead in this game by just outplaying Mazen,
He was
make him
still
work
down,
across
wasn't he,
the court.
Pranay?
I feel like Mazen's really changing up the game plan, trying to really slow down the game, play some drops and lobs, really take Vikram off his rhythm.
Strategy doesn't look to be successful so far.
I feel like Mazen's just going to throw this game and regroup for the next one. Clearly, I was wrong about this game being longer than that.
It's okay, we all make mistakes, Pranay.
10-2. Game ball.
Stroke to Gamal.
Stroke to Gamal. Hand out. 3-10. Game ball. Game ball. Game to Malhotra.
Vikram takes a quick third game, 11-4.
Is 2 games to 1.
If you're Mazen,
play will resume in 60 seconds. Play will resume in 30 seconds. Fifteen seconds. Time.
Time. Showing Mazen that he means business this game.
So CCI has been a real hotbed for squash in India. It's, I think, the first squash club in India, Pranay.
Definitely, I'm not sure about the first, but I know it's highly regarded as the home of Indian squash.
And just a couple of weeks ago, CCI completed its 75th Western India Open, the longest running squash tournament across the world.
Yeah, and yet another mark of credit is local boy Mahesh Mangaonkar, who won the senior nationals recently, coincidentally actually beating Vikram in the finals in that match in a thriller, going into extra points in the fifth game.
Yeah, in fact, Mahesh is the next matchup. You can see the two players waiting to get on court next, are sort of sensing that this game could end soon. They seem to be warming up quite vigorously. Mahesh is playing Baptiste Massotti of France. Beautiful drop by Vikram.
Yeah, I think fantastic overall front court.
And one of
play
the
there.
more delicate shots that he's played this whole match, apart from the squash where he's been sort of just spanking the ball.
Trying that one too many times.
And out. 1-3. And out. 4-1. Down.
I think Mazen getting punished for a poor drop. Just going into the sidewall and popping out from the area cross court.
Beautiful drop again by Vikram.
Just overall control of this entire point. You can see Vikram barely took a step off the tee, making Mazen work around him to the three corners of the court.
And that seems to be an area that he's targeting now for his winners.
Mazen's moved into a bit of a responsive mode now, whereas earlier he was really taking the charge and trying to push Vikram and move him around court. I feel like now he's just responding to what Vikram's doing.
And on that call, Vikram not happy at all. He thinks he wanted. He thinks that should have been a stroke. And Pranay and I are supremely lucky to be joined by one of the rising superstars of Indian squash, Ramit Tandon. Ramit, welcome to the commentary box.
Thank you, Nes. You guys have been doing an amazing job, and thank you for having me in the box with you guys. It's a privilege and an honor to be here.
I'm sure it is. So Ramit had his match a couple of hours ago, and his first round match, and won 3-love, which is really fantastic. Ramit, tell us a little bit about your game. How was it? Did you expect to win in 3, or were you expecting stiffer competition than that?
Well, yeah, it was a great game. I mean, Josh, we have never played before, so it's
Joshua Masters, right?
we've never played before, so I actually didn't know what to expect getting into the game. I mean, all matches are tough these days on the PSA. He's higher ranked than me, so of course I was expecting a stiff match. And although it's a 3-love win, it's still like tight games. We could have gone either way. So I'm just happy to finish it off in 3, and hopefully I'll play well tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. I think you and Vikram have made a habit of not really caring about people's rankings and really taking out the top ranked players. In fact, this is the home of your best ever result last year. Tell us about it.
Pranay has been falling asleep in the commentary box, so we just had to wake him up, and then he just goes on and on. And he does, once we wake him up, he just does not stop talking. He's also been texting.
Well, he's not actually, in Pranay's defense, he's not texting. He's appreciative of all the comments coming in from, I think a lot of comments coming in from the US, Pranay.
Yeah, it's all the homegrown CCI players watching on YouTube.
5-8.
But Ramit, Pranay and I were talking about how different the conditions were last year for the PSA tournament. The all-glass court was a little away from where this one is. It was on the main lawn of the CCI in the cricket stadium, which was slightly more picturesque than this probably. Where just outside the stadium, still in the CCI property. But it's a different month, it's a lot cooler. And how does that make a difference in terms of game and strategy and, you know, the way you look at a tournament?
Well, I mean, every court feels different. Every court feels different, and the conditions, I mean, you have to adapt to the conditions. I haven't really got a chance to hit on the glass court yet, so I don't really know how different the court is playing this year. In terms of temperature, it is a little cooler. Are you even listening to what I'm saying? In terms of temperature, it's a little cooler, so I think, I mean, if you take the ball short, it's going to be harder to get it back. Last year, I do remember, it was a very bouncy court, and we were sweating a lot on court, so the flooring was also a little slippery. I don't know if it's the change in location or just the change in time. I think last year was in November. This time it's in Jan, so maybe it's just that period of the month.
Yeah, I think this year we have the added benefit of being open air on all 4 sides, whereas last year we were trapped by the stadium. Definitely added a bit, couple degrees to the temperature.
Correction. Stroke to Malhotra. Stroke to Malhotra. 10-6. Match ball.
And just like that, Vikram's reached match ball.
And out. 7-10.
Mazen not ready to give up just yet. So Ramit's ranked 68 in the world, and we have some comments coming in from the US asking, you know, him being an eligible bachelor. What's your relationship status, Ramit?
Stroke to Malhotra.
Stroke to Malhotra.
Ramit seems to have walked out of the commentary box, and just like that, Vikram wins 3-1. Fabulously fought game. Really good fun to watch, and I think the crowd's appreciating it.
11-9, 11-4, 11-7.
Yeah, it's been such a pleasure to watch Vikram taking out higher ranked opposition. Always a pleasure to commentate with you guys.
Congratulations, Vikram. First of all, how are you feeling going into that match?
Pretty good. I thought I was ready for this match. I've done my homework and I did everything I possibly could to be ready for today. And there were some tough decisions I had to make. And I did that, and I'm glad it paid off.
You lost the first game, and then something changed. You found some surge of adrenaline. What was it? What do you think got you through?
I think I just made some silly errors and it kind of lit a fire under my backside. I've been here before and I felt like I underperformed last time. Okay, having to say this time, so you would have carried me off this court. Yeah, so that.
So you're playing against obviously a home crowd in a club that you would kind of consider home. How does that feel?
That's amazing. I mean, this is home. This is bigger than any other event for me. Look at the support, look at the crowd, look at the fans, the family. Everyone's here. Thank you, Gaurav, for helping out today. It's just great. I mean, you see people after so many years and you see them here supporting me and showing me things and alumni community and stuff like that. It's amazing. I mean, it's a great facility. I mean, this was what I was training for the past 3 months. This is the event.
You're up against James Willstrop tomorrow. Any thoughts on that one?
I mean, he's an absolute legend, right? I don't think I can say anything that would build up his squash anymore. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time, and hopefully tomorrow I can play well, and I think it'll be a good match. And yeah, I think it'll be a solid match, and it'll be a lot of fun for everyone to watch. Hopefully.
Congratulations, Vikram. We'll see you tomorrow. Alright, guys. It's time for the last match on the glass court today, or NC. So it's another Indian on court today, this time against a Frenchman. So first of all, Baptiste Massoudi joined the PSA World Tour in 2013. He's gone on to win 3 tour titles. He reached a career high world ranking